What can he say? What reason is there that Vitality could get a win? They perfect swept Queso. That's not an easy thing to do. They've got a lot of spice coming into today, and BDS do definitely need to watch their backs.
My worry, though, is that Team Queso were not anywhere near the best. The scary version of the Spaniards was not there to be seen when they did come up against Team Vitality, which, of course, is taking nothing away from Vitality. They played their game plan to perfection, but I think it was said on the desk as well, I don't think it's a game plan that will work against BDS. They'll be able to break through that. Vitality can't defend against these players. They're going to have to come out all guns blazing and try and beat them at their own game, in my opinion.
It's going to be a huge undertaking for either team. The first best of 7 today as well. Hopefully going the distance, but BDS wanting to shut it down as soon as they possibly can. And these guys, they're coming off fresh. They have done such an incredible job so far throughout all of the RLCS X. Out of the 7 grand finals we've had, they have won every single one they have been part of. 5 out of 7 have gone their way. They have never come second in their lives. And this is just a stepping stone on their way to that grand final. And Extra will be the first man to score.
One more step on that stepping stone. It was Fairy Peak that was blocked by Mark by 8. And then look at him square down against K-Dop. K-Dop did his best to dodge him, but no chance at all when Extra is bearing down upon you. BDS do not miss chances like that. And after a fairly even first minute or so, it's BDS that draw first blood. The quality goal, could they double up right here, right now? I thought for a second that was going over the top of Fairy Peak. He does manage to get back and keep it in the centre. Here's Mark Bayer, wanted to put it into the middle, but Fairy Peak in the Batmobile clears it away. Thoughts on the Batmobile, Stumpy? Because I love it, as you know.
As a car, I don't like it. Seeing Fairy Peak in that car, I love it. It makes me nostalgic for times that he has been and still shows that he is the best in the world. It's something where he almost feels comfortable. He feels at home when he goes back to the Batmobile, even if he goes via the Fennec every now and then. When seeing Alpha and K-Dop as well rocking the new esports decals in their Fennecs, it's a brilliant team. It's hopefully we're going to be seeing a full Fennec team at some point, all rocking those decals. But until then, Batmobile Fairy Peak is always going to be scary.
You mentioned that Vitality were fairly defensive and considered in their play against Team Queso. It was a little more haphazard against Team Endpoint earlier on. They were very close to going 2-0 down in that series. They had to get a couple of late goals in game number 2, which eventually meant they made that game 5, which they won it fairly comfortably. But we've seen both sides of Vitality. The new version of themselves where they're chaotic, and Alpha is chasing everything, and K-Dop's getting involved as well, and also the more defensive. They seem to be playing a bit more defensively here, and BDS are having a good time, I'd say, right now. After their goal, they have started to step up the pace, and they're looking better.
In that shot, though, aided by K-Dop, who drops his teammate Alpha drops a slow one towards the net, saved away by Mark. And Alpha took the shot earlier on as well. It was only because K-Dop was awkwardly floating on that backboard, and yet more defense having to come in every single time. It looks like it's going towards the Vitality net. It is dangerous, and Extra puts one through yet again.
2 goals for Extra. There was a miss on the backboard earlier on by Fairy Peak, and they cleared the first play, but the waves of attack from BDS just never stop. Eventually they're going to score, and that's what they did. A couple of goals up now, looking good.
I love being able to see how these players are reacting in-game as well. In that previous series when Dignitas ended up getting their final goal in the overtime to kick off any of the reverse sweep that might have just about happened, you could see Panda was so excited. There was Jorius as well, was elated. And Casio, didn't look like he was having a great time. I'm excited to see how these guys are going to be looking going forwards in this matchup, because K-Dop, he's looking energized.
Yeah, hang about. Here comes K-Dop, the Chinese Dragons, coming out of the goal as he scores. Lovely celebration with an interesting finish. I didn't see how odd that one was, but one way or another, he gets his goal. And puts Vitality back in it and does set up a bit of an interesting finish to the first game. Not as important game 1 in a best of 7, of course, but it would be lovely for Vitality to get something from it, to at least force an overtime and show BDS that even if they do take the lead in games and in series, perhaps, they're not going to have it all their own way. So an important period of play, perhaps, as Fairy Peak puts it to the side. Extra and Monkey Moon somewhat getting each other's way. It falls for Fairy Peak, puts it into the centre. Alpha fakes! And then K-Dop finishes. Vitality 1-2, and it's 2-2.
A few carefully considered passes from Fairy Peak. This is his second in about 20 seconds or so, where he just floats it central, trying to get any of his teammates on the end of it. This time, K-Dop and Alpha in the prime position, and K-Dop is the man to get his nose to it. Drawing that even with just over 90 seconds to go, Vitality are still making the point that they are up there in the top 3 contention quite happily. BDS, we were speaking on the pre-show that it might not be they're standing on top of the mountain. You know, they might not be as firmly planted as they were throughout fall. There are much bigger contenders coming out and just trying to knock them off with a big gust.
Well, the better BDS play, and the more they win, the more other teams look at their scrims against them and look at their games and figure out what it is that makes this team so good. No matter how good you are, you can be learned from. And BDS are being learned from. They're changing the meta. Vitality have done their best to catch up, going more aggressive, but they have caught up in this game and thrown it away. Mark by 8 scores an easy one.
Fairy Peak going from hero to zero, gets that 100 boost in the corner, but then Central, where Mark pre-jumped the touch. Even if that didn't go in from Mark's pre-jump, it probably drops down nicely for Extra, who was challenging low. Great idea from Mark to just squeeze any position out of Fairy Peak where the ball will just land nicely for Vitality. But from hero to zero and all the way back up to hero, Fairy Peak brings us even again.
Fairy Peak is proving that numbers aren't forever. He was zero, now is hero again. We'll see how long it takes him to return back to the depths of zero. But it is 3-all in this first game, and it's a really good one. It's end-to-end stuff. There's goals flying in everywhere. Exactly the sort of series I think we wanted after the much slower and more considered series that Vitality had earlier. Pretty much everything we could have asked for so far. K-Dot puts it into the center. Alpha shoots! Oh! Vitality have the lead!
Oh, these guys watched Dignitas earlier. This passing play, K-Dot passing to the ceiling from himself, and Alpha whipping the ball out of Extra's roof in front of Mark by 8, and that's the 4th goal for Vitality. That is a huge moment. That could be the game-winning goal, but we have seen a few come off kickoffs.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've still got 40 seconds after the kickoff as well, which is good news for BDS as they worm this ball around the corner. K-Dot's trying to stay behind the ball better than Fairy Peak did earlier, and it's his teammate Fairy Peak that does come away with it in the end. There's a good touch from K-Dot. He's having a really good opening game, involved in most of what Vitality is doing well. Alpha slows things down, goes solo, but Extra read it off the backboard. K-Dot continues the pressure from Vitality. They're not just trying to sit back on this 1-goal lead, which I adore. BDS eventually break through, but it's just a K-Dot.
That is a great inception on the halfway line, and as soon as he pumps that towards the BDS net as well, it just buys them time. Mark going so far away to get that back boost. He might have been found for the pass. Monkey Moon up for the challenge. Alpha blocks it away from the net. Can Mark get it central? That's falling low, and it will be touched to the floor. That's Vitality with game number 1. No one on the desk predicting that it would be a Vitality win, but they start off on the front foot.
Well, fair play to 45% of Twitch chat. I've got to admit, I wasn't backing their decision. I thought BDS would take this one, and I thought they'd take it fairly comfortably. But that first game says that there's plenty of life in this series, and plenty that Vitality can do to punish and really make BDS think about their playstyle, because it was counter-attack goals from Vitality at the beginning, and then as time went on, they were getting more of the pressure as well, which is a really good sign for the Frenchman.
I mean, BDS's goals mostly came off errors as well from Vitality. There was K-Dot missing on the backboard a few times. Fairy Peak just knocking it central. Great positioning by Mark to get the goals, however, but it still relied on Fairy Peak making errors. We need to see a bit more proactivity from BDS, to be honest, because Vitality, I think they were biding their time and then, like you said, going for counterattacks later on, just going for some passing plays in the middle. A lot of variation from those Frenchmen.
Yeah.
Can they take it to the other ones?
I was going to say the exact same thing, actually. I feel that BDS looked good, but they weren't really wowing us in that first game. The goals that they got, credit to them. You know, they backed the fact that Fairy Peak might make a mistake, and Mark by 8 was on hands. He gambled and he won it out. But they're not really forcing Vitality under too much pressure, barring about a minute or so in the center of that first game. Vitality did grow into it. Vitality got better and better, and in the end, I'd say just about were deserving winners. But BDS always get better as the series goes on.
Yeah, BDS starting slow and then building into it like an old crank engine, and Vitality passing central from Fairy Peak again. Alpha couldn't get it on target, but again, the ideas are there, and there's still varied attack coming in.
Alpha from the ceiling. Tries to fake out Monkey Moon, but Monkey Moon knew exactly what he was doing. It does fall to K-Dot to go above the goal. That was his attempt anyway, into the center again by K-Dot. His pace is looking good. There's been a few series this season for K-Dot where he's looked a little bit slow, a little bit inaccurate, got on his teammate's way a tad. That's when he's at his worst, but there are no signs of that at all so far in this series.
Yeah, certainly looking better than we've seen in previous year. Pass central from Alpha to K-Dot, knocked out of the way by Monkey Moon, who can then grab that back boost and hope for another Fairy Peak error. Much more considered this time as he gets it near the halfway line. Marked by 8, though, his His sworn enemy going from the backboard. Does manage to get in the way. A pre-jump from Extra sends it high. So much aerial play coming in from both of these teams, but a double commit on the back line for BDS will send them scrambling.
Extra's on the backboard, waiting, hoping that Alpha's touch is high. I think he actually fell into the goal somewhat there. It's Fairy now that tries to set up KDOT, but Mark by 8 closed it down really quickly. BDS having some defending to do, and that win from Extra could transition them forwards. But no, it's just Fairy Peak towards KDOT, and straight back at the BDS goal. It's been all Vitality so far in this second game as well. It's just up against Alpha here. Alpha to the ceiling. Mark by 8 trying to land on that one and force something from a floor bench, but it just looks a little bit dodgy from BDS, and that's Vitality's doing.
I think Vitality are now realizing that Extra and Monkey Moon especially, I guess also Mark by 8, everybody on BDS is pre-jumping so often that they can fake them out quite easily. We saw there Alpha take out 2 BDS players just with one play. Goes high, fakes low. And that's exactly what it needs to do, making them use all their boost, and then an easy shot can come in, but Extra, with extended pressure in the back third, can get the first goal.
It was Extra who finished it, but how many times has Monkey Moon managed to do that? He finds a little pocket of space and makes the perfect pass from it, where other players might rush it, force it to the ceiling, and have a ceiling shot that goes nowhere. Mark by 8, there's the ability to just put it into the center perfectly. And there you go, 1-0 BDS from not their best performance.
2 minutes 30, we see Fairy Peak in that back corner, evading the boost but going for a 50 along with Monkey Moon, who pre-jumps again. Vitality, will they have the wherewithal to go for a few more fakes high? Mark by 8 touches gently to the backboard, can then try and go for the second hit, doesn't quite manage to. Fairy Peak can drop it central. KDOT is up for the pre-jump. Monkey Moon in the way, however, and now BDS can form a counter-attack.
Yeah, the counter-attacks are getting faster and they're further forward when the clearance is made now, BDS. There were a couple of times earlier where even if they did make that touch, there was no one approaching it, and Vitality could send it right back to their half. But now look at the difference. Extra is lingering in that Vitality 50% of the pitch. They can sense that another goal is coming for them. A slight swing in the play. It's just following this one. Slows it down against Fairy Peak. Oh, gets himself to remain involved, but no goals from that play yet. Clear to the center. Monkey Moon's going to pass, I think. Extra is up. Will he get the double tap that he's probably after? All we can do is watch and find out. He does. Monkey Moon is up. Mark by 8 is below. If he passes, instead he shoots. And what a save from Alpha. Even when Vitality were really struggling, their goal line clearances have never deserted them.
On the near post, Alpha clutches it out as the ball falls halfway over the line. That is very, very quick reactions. Still, a BDS with these plays. Double post, and Monkey Moon still in a great position to get some pressure on. KDOT from that side wall. Gets it to the halfway line. Mark by 8 goes high. Can he go double off the ceiling? Alpha up early, but it just falls to Extra again. KDOT with a whiff. Can this ball find its way again? Lingering in front of the Vitality goal line. This defense is absolutely world class.
And then an absolutely giant demo there from KDOT. They were so boost-starved. The whiff that KDOT had is because he went for the middle boost pill. It wasn't there. Then he went for the back right one. It wasn't there either. They were desperately scrabbling for anything they could get. They couldn't possibly break free until that moment of relief from that KDOT demo. But even after they had a slight bit of respite, they're just coming back again at BDS. Alpha's clearance might do them a little bit better. Needs to win this second touch. Now, this is more like it for Vitality. KDOT's already up. Extra, does he beat him? He doesn't quite. Monkey Moon underneath it with not too much boost. Still sets up Mark by 8. And the ball drops nowhere for Vitality.
And Vitality still need that goal. BDS have had so much pressure, can't score from it, but it's still been 2 minutes of pressure without a goal for Vitality. Potentially final chance here. Fairy Peak goes high, sees KDOT on that right wall. Central to Alpha. Blocked away by Extra, who sends it long again. Can Monkey Moon get in the way of KDOT? Does manage to. Mark by 8 up early as you like. From the corner, this has to stay up. Fairy Peak isn't quite able to manage it. And the second game going to the current champions in BDS.
Extra in good goal-scoring form so far with 3 in the first 2 games. That final touch there from Fairy Peak, using all the length of that Batmobile, scared me. I thought for a second that he just managed to tap the ball to the onrushing BDS
Extra reverse
attacker.
Like he wanted to get out of the way to be like, no, you've hit that too far. I'm getting out of the way. You know that's touching the floor. Even the long snoot of the Batmobile can't quite stop it from hitting the floor.
Yeah, he had to keep it up one way or another, but not quite enough for Team Vitality. They defended well, but BDS attacked so much better in that second game.
Yeah, I mean, they had so much pressure, but it was still 1 goal. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
goals,
even
yeah, true.
Even their shots, though, they only had, oh my word, how's my math this bad? 7 shots in the end, in total. Vitality with 4. Not a massive difference, a relatively low shooting game or like a middling shooting game. It was mostly just the pressure that was kept. It was in the Vitality half, but every shot being blocked out before it could register as a shot. Saves for Vitality only on 5 as well, proving that the best defense doesn't necessarily just come from the scoreboard. You have to look at the game individually. What was the gameplay actually like? A heat map of that will show glowing, burning red in the Vitality half. And BDS, cool as you like, no goals scored, few shots on target, not too much to worry about. And BDS, you're pretty happy with that, I think.
Yeah, I think that you're right. Pressure is a better word than attacking intent from BDS, and what they did better in that second game. They scored far fewer goals, but they looked like they were going to score more, and if they had have scored them, it would have been of their own good play as opposed to 1 or 2 Vitality mistakes. I think the Vitality have to step back up the pace now. They can't just let this series fade away somewhat. BDS are only going to get better. Vitality can't be there saying to themselves right now, same again, boys. It has to be, upping them, getting that momentum going, getting the belief back, and really spurring themselves to life in Game 3 and beyond.
I mean, defense-wise, Vitality, do exactly what you did, because that was absolutely sublime. Not many teams can hold out for 2 minutes and not let BDS score. That's an incredible feat. But it's just the other end. BDS were not making many mistakes on defense themselves, and they were maintaining all the pressure that they needed to. So a few more attacking plays are needed, a bit more ingenuity. Take what you learned from game number 1, keep mixing it up. They know all of these things. It just comes down to, can they get them in there practically? And Monkey Moon from the side of the goal can bump the defender ever so slightly to set up this pass.
The self-sealing setup as well, and then he just didn't go away. He actually got a tap on Alpha 54, I think. He's had a relatively quiet series, Monkey Moon, but he only needs 1 chance. You saw it in Game 2 where he got the assist for extra, and you've seen it just there. A couple of touches in the air, and he always manages to do something with the possession that he has. 1-0 BDS.
It's an early goal as well for BDS, which is what happened last time, sort of early to mid-game. And only 1 was needed to win. Previously, it was a couple of goals that managed to come in for both teams, but defenses and offenses being shut down somewhat in the midfield going forward in this series. And you said it earlier, Cole, BDS only get better with time. They are a fine cheese. They are gonna just keep being more explosive, just better. And Monkey Moon, sailing backboard, tip of the car, second goal.
Monkey Moon and BDS are doing that thing that he does and they do, where every subsequent game, they are that little bit better. Look at the control. They are very cheesy. You can see that sort of melting down like the ball, and Monkey Moon was never going to miss that read. Quality play from him. 2-0, could be 3. Like, you're now getting the impression that every time BDS come forward, Vitality are going to struggle to deal with it. They're not going to be able to hold them back for as long as they did in Game 2. They have to do this. They have to get down the other end. They have to score. They might do that, but Mark by 8 gets the save.
Outplaying 2 players as well in that pass from a single player. And K-Dot receives the doink assist from Fairy Peak. A belter of a shot from Alpha. Tries to find just below the top of the goal. K-Dot central again. Mark by 8 pre-jumping, missing, but Fairy Peak just respecting him a little bit too much. Can the dish come in? Isn't able to, but Alpha can tap it in regardless.
Extra was lingering there, waiting for that boost to spawn, and Fairy Peak knew exactly what he was going to try. A great demo. But yeah, the read from Fairy, sending it around the corner for Alpha. Easiest goal he will ever score. And Vitality, it's a mirror to game number 1, where they were 2 goals down, I believe, and ended up bringing it back. Will they be able to repeat that trick? When they scored their first goal, Vitality, in Game 1, their second one wasn't waiting too long, but actually it's almost BDS that scored the 4th goal in this game. It was saved well on the goal line again by Vitality. Extra shooting this time. K-Dot has just been completely wrong-footed by Extra. Look at that.
That was like a penalty run-up where they stuttered, and they're like, I'm just going to tap it. Just slowly. I mean, K-Dot, I feel, could have still hit that. He ended up backflipping in the end because where's Extra shooting? You've got no idea. Is that going to be a rocketing ground pinch? Will he catch it on the half volley and leather it into the top corner? No idea. K-Dot bamboozled. 3 goals now for BDS. Make it not quite 4 until Extra gets involved.
Extra is the fox in the box right now for Team BDS. K-Dot ceiling pinch didn't quite happen, but look at the speed from Monkey Moon there. Completely taking his opponent out of the game. And then Extra are doing the same thing again. BDS are winning this one by pace right now. Vitality not really able to deal with it. And I'm glad that on the mainstream, the first time they've been there on this major, Stumpy, we're starting to see the real BDS. The speed, the pace, the aggression, the quality, the control that they have over every team, not just Vitality, anyone they come up against, even against Giants in the game that they had to get the bracket reset in. When they started playing well, they were just such quality, even when they were exhausted, even when they could barely hold their controllers by the way they were playing because of the mistakes that were flying in. They were still quick. So quick.
Alpha, I thought, might try and go for a musty flick there. Doesn't quite manage to pull it off. And so the counter-attack can come in from BDS. Marked by 8, missing that second touch, but scared the defense enough for the pressure to remain. Monkey Moon outplaying 2 Vitality defenders. Incepted by Extra on that right wall. Marked by 8 can slang it along. And Alpha on the end of it, kind of double tap come in. No, Extra up, reads it with every single one of his boosts. And as that pinches away, time ticks down for Vitality. They need 3 goals to bring this just even. That is a huge asking. Otherwise, BDS get another game.
Yeah, but they're also learning Vitality. They're trying to figure out how do we break holes in this BDS defense, and we do have a little bit of pressure, because that's another thing that's changed. Vitality, when they came forward, they were somehow able to bundle that ball home, but that hasn't happened now. They're trying to stay forward a little bit more, look for these passing plays, certainly work on their transition game, which will help them send the ball away from their own half, but the final product isn't quite there right now, and K-Dub has to let that one go. That must be heartbreaking for him, especially when it leads to a 5th for BDS.
It was Alpha and Therapy getting caught on each other. That was just the start of the downfall for that play. Alpha can't quite get in front of the save either. But it was those two bumping into each other. K-Dot moving up to about 15 feet behind them. Very close. No boost to follow up. It ends up going awry. And you see what BDS can do when they're given just a touch of space. That's 5 goals past the Vitality defense now. And it's looking near unstoppable. But Alpha doesn't know the meaning of the word.
I'm going to be honest, I'm still thinking this game is over, but maybe if we get a kickoff goal, we can start to get excited. For now, though, let's just appreciate the quality from Alpha. He read where that one was going, had to maneuver his car around it in an interesting way, and just sets up a bit of intrigue in this last 61 seconds or so. Unless Marked by 8 kills it here, he doesn't. Alpha saves it in the corner, but into the center, K-Dop is racing against Monkey Moon, and K-Dop wins out. Time is racing away. Vitality with a 10th of a chance to get something going.
Every second, though, is less time for them to get a goal. Extra tries to fake out Alpha. He had Monkey Moon available for the pass, and Extra was just deathly aware of that. Had to stand his ground, does so fantastically. Can the flip reset come off? It does, but Monkey Moon with the pre-jump reads that just perfectly.
Extra.
Extra and Marked by 8, a miss, and shanking it wide.
Where were they off to? BDS having a little bit of fun at the end of this game, it seems. Monkey Moon is going to slow this one down and show a little bit more quality on the ball, flicking it over the top of K-Dop. Alpha then sends it towards Extra. Can we see an Extra flip reset? Marked by 8's coming in as well. they're styling on Vitality right now. They're having
game's
some
over
fun.
then.
Yeah, I think it's been over even before Alpha scored that goal, to be quite honest. We tried to make something of it, Stumpy, but realistically, as soon as it went, I'd say 4-1, Vitality didn't stand a chance. BDS playing far too well in this game.
That's the second game won for BDS as well. 2 more, they go through to the winners' finals to face the winner of Oxygen versus Dignitas. But look at how calm and relaxed every single player is right now on their comms. K-Dop having a word with his team. The lads on BDS, they're all just trying to keep it chill. They've been here before. Everyone should have seen the reaction clips on Twitter for when BDS have won regionals. They score the winning goal and they just go, GG. They just sit back and then go on their phone, go on Twitter, do whatever they do. Yeah. And they're not too bothered. They are cool as a box of cucumbers and don't Vitality know it.
That's why I think there'll be absolute quality on LAN as well, Team BDS. They have shown no signs that they're going to buckle to any kind of pressure. No matter the level of tournament that they're in, you know, they come through after qualifying for what would have been the RLCS Season 10, it became the RLCS X, and they ended up winning everything. When they only got promoted the season before, they come to these regionals, they're destroying everybody in front of them. Even recently in the grid, they were 3-1 down in the best of 7 against Vitality, and what did they do? They won the final 3 games in a row. They do what has to be done to win.
Yes. Vitality, they're being removed from the pitch very, very kindly by the wonderful Ford F-150. currently broken, but not yet down and out. That vehicle's going to get repaired, as are the spirits of Vitality. Series still very, very well and alive. There's so much fight in Vitality. Johnny said it on the pre-show. You don't necessarily want to stand in the way of KDOP and the trophy. And the more Rocket League esports continues, the truer that just ends up becoming. Game number 4, BDS, if they win this, go on to series point, and Vitality will just have another chance to keep fighting through.
There's more to come from Vitality, I feel. If they go back to their Game 1 playstyle, where they scored at least one goal where all 3 players were within about 3 yards of one another. And I'm not saying to do that over and over again, of course, that's a recipe for absolute failure, but when the time is right, you have to have that bravery, especially against BDS, a team who can defend you all day unless you chuck that third man forward. I just want to see Vitality really take some risks now. They've got the safety net of the lower bracket if it comes to that, so why not go all out? Really take this fight to Team BDS, see if you can go a goal or 2 up, and then maybe slow down and consider being a little bit more defensive.
Minute without incident, and a lot of midfield play rather. Marked by a roving Alpha, and there's just a couple of chances of Vitality here. KDOP trying to linger on the goal line, get a bump, get a redirect, and just be that secret player in the net of BDS to throw them off a little bit and just make them uneasy. As soon as you get bumped from behind in any game of Rocket League, pro or otherwise, you just go on thinking from that point, they could be behind me again, and I'd have no idea. That's why audio cues are so important, just hearing the players, and as soon as you get that worry of, I do not recognize that boost sound, that's when you think, maybe there's a KDOP lurking. But, I mean, obviously everybody uses Alpha Boost at this point, or Fairy Peak with that very loud Batmobile.
Yeah, it's not as subtle as the Batmobile, but then he doesn't have to be subtle. He's that good, but he can let everybody know where he is on the pitch, and he's still going to come out with something special. A couple of minutes have gone by without too much incident now. Vitality having the better of the play, but without too many chances to write home about. As soon as BDS come forward, suddenly it seems that they'll have what it takes to break through Vitality's defense. As it's their turn to attack, Monkey Moon is up. He has a clean shot, but KDOP read it as well as he possibly could have, and his second touch is a nice catch as well. So good defending there from KDOP. Mark Bayet's going to come again. Someone go. Someone go. Goodness me.
That was extra, so close to just tapping that over the top of the defense, and maybe should have done. I don't think he expected both players for Vitality to not go for that. It wasn't even threaded between the middle of them, I don't think. Fairy Peak dropping that low out the way of KDOP. Extra taking full advantage, and another misplay from Fairy Peak leaves the goal wide open for BDS.
That's what happens against BDS. You're keen to take that one touch too many. You can't possibly fathom that the right decision is to leave the ball when it's above you, because you're assuming if you do leave it, they're going to score a double tap. They're going to do something crazy. So Fairy Peak panics a little bit. Unfortunately for him, he did have a teammate there, and he knocked it away from him. Alpha was on the wall, not able to do anything. Fairy Peak has already done it before, where he's had a mistake and come right back down the other end and made up for it. On this occasion, we'll have to wait at least a few seconds longer. KDOP does make a save on Extra, and Fairy Peak tries to block out Mark by 8.
I thought that might be the same thing that happened earlier, where Extra would look like he's going for absolute, like, ripping it top corner, and then just slow rolling it underneath him. KDOP, though, this time staying a little bit more grounded. Mark to Alpha. Monkey Moon there for the third, and the second goal for BDS. No mistakes made, instead, perfection.
I thought Extra was going to shoot that. Maybe he did and it was inaccurate, but you have to believe with BDS, that was intentional. He aimed for that back wall because he knew that Monkey Moon was following up. I'm actually super surprised as well that Extra didn't shoot it, because he has scored 5 goals so far in this series. The last time they did play in that amazing grid series, he scored 6. So for one reason or another, Extra loves scoring against Vitality, and he's been a bit of a star man so far for BDS in this series, in my opinion.
BDS have just been having shot after shot, and all of them looking relatively threatening as well. This time, though, the Vitality defense wanting to go back to the days of just the 1-0 loss that they had previously, where their defense was absolutely sublime. Their offense was just lacking. This time, it's defense and offense lacking. Mark by 8 trying to go for something special on the double. KDOP from inside the net can clear it wide. Monkey Moon attempting to shoot that top corner, but Alpha can catch and then flick down into the BDS half. Extra carrying along, goes slow, and then is just hit by Mark, who then lands on him again. Just wanting to prove, they're best mates. They hang out on and off the pitch, trying to stay as close as they possibly can in this match.
Do you think that's the point it's got to with Vitality against BDS? That they reminisce about 1-0 losses. The nostalgia is high. Oh, remember we only lost by 1 in the good old days. Now here they are 2 goals down.
In the good old days of Game 2.
Yeah, they were the good old days. They were
But the saves were really good. The defense Vitality, like, they didn't concede of 2 minutes of BDS pressure. That's huge. That's massive. And yet now there's been just errors over and over again from Vitality to lead it down to a BDS, either a fantastic passing play or Fairy Peak just making mistakes. And they will happen. It's up to them to move past it. We all know Vitality can. That's a double missed. Will K-Dot be there? No, he moved up just a little bit too far and the clear can come back out. Only 10 seconds remain. BDS, they look like they're going to take their third quite happily.
Go on, what a goal this could be. Oh, Monkey Moon. That's the sort of first touch that I just want to see a replay of. When Alpha catches it from the wall like that and spins around to get some height on the ball, you can see in the corner that Alpha stopped playing. He knows this one's over. Vitality aren't really managing to deal with BDS in the same way that they were in the early days of this series. The good old days, as we've coined them. BDS are running away with it. 3-1 up now. The good old days of Game 2, mate. How are they looking to you? How's the body language check?
It's gone now. I have no idea. No, I think I honestly didn't see. I was counting shots and saves and stuff. But the BDS, it was a lot more shots in that game. It ended up being 9 shots in total. The saves only totaling 6. That accounts for a couple of goals, then a wide shot or 2. It was just BDS taking full advantage of any errors from Vitality, where Fairy Peak knocked it into the way of BDS and out of the way of Vitality, and also the passing play that came in. That really was fantastic. Fairy Peak did about 3 circles as the ball just whipped around his Batmobile, didn't know where to go, and BDS, they take it, they deserve that game, and now they find themselves on series point. If they win it, it's pretty much as planned. Winners finals, of course they were going to be there.
We head to Wasteland Night, where, as you say, Stumpy, BDS have the chance to guarantee at least 3rd place in this major, and I think we all agree that they're probably not going to stop there if they manage to close out this series. Is there anything that you spy with your little eye that Vitality can do to bring this one back? How do they get 3 games in a row against BDS right now?
They need to rely on BDS to maybe be a bit silly, which sounds weird, but we've seen it happen towards the end of games, where they start to double commit, they go for some weird shots. Marked by 8, though, that is anything other than messing around. That is top corner, quick as you like, in 18 seconds. He makes Alpha stretch for it and still miss.
Well, Extra was just staring at Alpha. It's like he looked at him and he said, miss. And Alpha just said, okay, I will. Because he half went for a bump or a demo, just enough to put Extra off. And it was enough. Alpha couldn't get that save in the corner. And early again, 1-0 BDS. The last few games, we have had early goals for BDS, which is making it so difficult for Vitality to find their way into a game. They haven't taken the lead, I think, since game number 1. They just can't get a foothold in any of these games. And that's because BDS, when they get that bit between their teeth, they don't let it go.
It's the precision that BDS are able to do, but also that Vitality are able to do. Like, Vitality are a top 3, top 2 team in Europe. It just proves that BDS are so far ahead of pretty much anybody in the conversation. Regardless of what happened, by the way, today, if BDS went out 0-2, they just lost both their series. If Vitality, the 2nd place team right now in Europe, won, BDS would still be on top by like 100 points. Even if Vitality won 802 points by tomorrow plus 4 hours, they would still be on top. That's how far ahead BDS are, and it's so rough and hard to try and hold yourself to that standard. And BDS proving why they are that top team and why a lot of people consider them to be the best in the world. Vitality have been there though, and they can still do it. It's just about, I think, having a bit more cohesion between their players. And when Mark Baye is shooting on net, shooting on target, you need to have a keeper in a good position.
Another great 50-50 though from Monkey Moon. Every time he gets anywhere near the ball, Mark Baye and Extra must just be in the center, thinking, pass to me, pick me. I want to be the one who scores the next goal. This time it was Mark Baye who was there, and make no mistake, he is scoring that one all day long. 3 minutes left, Vitality needing a miracle to get themselves back into this game, and then 2 more to win the series.
We're, what, 2 minutes in, and Alpha is the highest scoring player on Vitality right now. Now it's Fairy Peak with 76 points.
Wow.
And we're 2 minutes in. And before that save, it was 56 points for Alpha. Extra's got 30 points. He's barely been here. This is a 2v3.
I mean, points aren't the best metric by any means, but they can give you a very vague picture of how much of the play each individual player is having. And I think what that shows is how little of the play Vitality as a whole are having. They can't get this ball. It's all BDS's. You might as well stamp their logo on it because it is theirs to do with as they please. And almost leading to a third goal. A good finish from Mark Baye. That would have been his hat-trick. What a way to secure your hat-trick that would have been with just 3 pure, crisp finishes. Mark Baye goes up again towards Extra. Alpha needs to conjure something, but Monkey Moon just doesn't let him again.
Alpha's save must have been somewhat inspiring, though. Just carrying on from that point of, look, we can hold out some of these fantastic shots. 2 have snuck past. 2 amazing shots have got in. They haven't been just piddly little rollers. They have been fantastic shots by Mark Baye. The problem lies in when Vitality get a shot on net, is it threatening? Can the keeper still get to it? So far, the story has been yes. That shot, that's wide open, though. K-Dub sends it just wide. Fairy Peak can bip it central.
Something silly from BDS, a slight overcommit from Mark Baye. Fairy Peak, it wasn't the easiest finish in the world, but again, there's that Batmobile, mate. The Octane, two square to score that, do you reckon?
Try and, make Batmobile good. Only Fairy Peak can do that.
That is a Batmobile-only goal.
No, it isn't.
100%. Everyone
you could have
listening to
picked
this.
any other moment from Fairy Peak this series that was Batmobile only, and you've chosen an open net.
Everyone listening to this, if you want to score open nets like Fairy Peak, switch to the Batmobile immediately. 1.5 minutes. Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, if that advice of scoring open nets, that just needs to be at Athena, I think.
Absolutely. I think much advice can go to Athena with regards to Rocket League. Flicking, saving, shooting. Anyway, Stumpy, 1 minute and 20 seconds left, and Vitality have given themselves a chance to somewhat get back into this series. The BDS playing with a little bit more of the ball since the goal went in, but Vitality look to have something of a new belief as they just wait for this one to land above their goal. K-Dub finds Alpha. That's a good first touch from Alpha, and he does have boost in the tank as well. He's closed down Extra. He's read what he's doing. Fairy Peak!
Oh, no!
It's the Batmobile backflip!
See, that's what he could do in there. Now, that's such a good finish by Alpha, showing what any car but Batmobile can do. Goes from the backboard. Look at that tap, boosting the entire way through. Extra still getting a touch, and it's just not close enough. He is stoic on his player cam because that's the kind of nerves and shot that these teams need. Vitality are even again. That is muscling through, and Vitality, that is going to be a big moment in the series.
Yeah, they needed some Alpha magic, and there it was with that double tap. Now they have to keep their composure. See it out. Don't do anything silly at all if you're Vitality here. If they score against you, fair enough, but you have to make them work for it. K-Dub has a shooting chance. Monkey Moon up from the floor. Mark Baye's got no boost at all. How rare is that for BDS to be boost-starved? K-Dub's got this. He's going to shoot this. It might be going in, and it is going in, Stumpy! Vitality complete the turnaround. I cannot believe my eyes.
Fairy Peak, I think, was just a, let's go. He just looks so slightly excited because he knows that this game still isn't quite over, but this is the first time they've been in the lead since they won that game 1. 3-2. That could be it. A miss in that back half by BDS and Fairy Peak with an attacking chance.
Vitality doing everything they can to see this one away. K-Dub tries to close down Mark Baye, who slows it down, lets it bounce, then gets it to the corner. Alpha's there. We'll get this over the top of Monkey Moon, you know. Extra, will it fall for him? He tries to flick it up to Mark Baye, but he can't. And Team Vitality do get their game and do get themselves somewhat back in this series, Stumpy.
It amazes me just how calm everybody is on the cameras. K-Dub's got something in his eye, so hopefully he can get that out. He has just, all of them, have just been sitting there like, yep, this is all part of it. We lose games, we win games. It's not over until the series is over. We've seen reverse sweeps happen today. This won't be a reverse sweep, but it will be a big comeback from behind. BDS losing their first game since game 1, and that now puts Vitality with just 2 more wins that they need, but BDS still on that series point.
It looked like it was all over. It seemed that there was no chance at all that Vitality would have any hope in this until K-Dop sends that ball forward. Fairy Peak with the Batmobile sideways flat finish, putting it in, and then Alpha. Oh,
That's
what
such
a goal.
Beautiful double.
That is such a tight angle double touch. He had to score it. If he doesn't score that, there's no way Vitality regroup and score an equalizer, in my opinion. He has to, and he does. Do we have a game? A series on our hands now?
100%. I think we've always had a series. Until a game is over, we don't know. Bear in mind, 2 minutes into that game, that was like, what, 56 points? And for Alpha, the highest scoring player on Vitality. They were down and out, and it was the save that I really think turned it around. It just needs... So Vitality just needs their momentum to continue. Monkey Moon, with a ceiling reset, can continue that pressure. Early on, BDS are firing out of the gate. Mechanically on this pitch, they are superior. Can they get more goals?
K-Dop up against Monkey Moon, winning that one again, starting to return to his early series form, but Extra's got a couple of touches in the locker. It's saved by Alpha in that top corner. Good player to have in goal there in a 1v1 situation is Alpha. He's seen it all pretty much when it comes to the tricks that Extra can bust out. But now Alpha comes forward himself, over the top of Extra maybe. Not quite on this occasion. Vitality's trying to get something going, showing some good patience. It's solo plays seem to be the feature of the day right now. They're taking turns going for something a little bit fancy. I wonder if it'll be an infield pass that opens this game up.
There's also a lot of interceptions midfield, very Giants-esque for Vitality right now, trying to get in the way as often and as frequently as they can to make sure that nothing really develops for BDS, because as soon as they have chances, they're gonna score them. And Fairy Peak, that's his first chance, and he scores them.
What a finish as well. That is by no means easy. You have to get that all the way into the bottom corner. I believe that is the only part of the goal that Fairy Peak could have scored in and have it not be saved by Mark by 8, and he's achieved that. Still so calm, so stoic. It does amaze me that, you know, if I score that goal at this point, I'm having, you know, I'm giving a little fist pump or something, but they just get on with it, move on to the next goal.
This is why they're good at Rocket League and we're not. That's the only reason.
Good to know.
It's not the practice, the dedication, the lifestyle that Rocket League demands. No, it's the stoicism.
And the Frenchness.
And the French, that's a very good point. That more, if anything, than the stoicism.
It's Fairy Peak onto the backboard. K-Dop is hovering underneath. K-Dop shoots, tries to copy the Fairy Peak finish from earlier. And this is exactly what Alpha likes to do, taking it to the ceiling. Every time Alpha gets the ball right now, BDS are just waiting, letting him have his play, making sure they stay back as far as they possibly can go, which is good because it reduces the chance of Alpha scoring from them. But it's bad for BDS because every time Alpha gets the ball, he's gaining serious territory. And it's starting to put BDS under a little bit of pressure.
It's also a far cry from their idea that they had earlier on with all of the pre-jumps. If you notice, they are pre-jumping K-Dop and Fairy Peak almost every single time. With Alpha, though, like you said, I completely agree, they're leaving him to it. They're like, okay, what do you do? What do you do here? The amount of times in Extra just wait and see what Alpha can do. It's a very, very interesting style. So far, not paying off in this game, but the double tap opportunity going amiss. Fairy Peak missing the ball, and Monkey Moon with a chance to pass.
Oh, what a play that is from Monkey Moon. The wave dash to get the ball into the center, but Extra on this occasion didn't quite read it. You feel like 2 games ago, Extra would have been there at the near post to slam that ball home. Now, though, he has to flick it over the top of the Vitality defender. It's K-Dop in the air, passed down well to Alpha, and now they are closing Alpha down a little bit quicker. I feel like somebody has had a word saying we have to stop this guy we have to stop this guy solo playing because it will punish us eventually. And BDS is starting to get back to their more favored way of defending, which is to attack all over the pitch. And look at the space it develops. And of course it's Monkey Moon. When BDS are in trouble, this is Monkey Moon.
So much respect here from Vitality on Monkey Moon. Does he reset that? Does he go to the ceiling again? Does he backboard it? Take it low, shoot it low, because that is a hard position to defend from when the entire net is open for a shot. Monkey Moon bringing BDS even, and with a minute 45, all of a sudden, Vitality's lead is 0.
Oh, but Monkey Moon's touch isn't the one that Mark by 8 wanted there. Extra onto the backboard. Alpha gets a couple of touches to send it away, but Monkey Moon is waiting. K-Dop pre-jumped by Mark by 8 every single time. You're completely right, Stumpy. Extra now. That one somehow found its way over the goal. Vitality just have to slow down their defending a little bit here, make sure that nothing silly occurs. Mark by 8 gets one touch, then he gets another one. Extra's coming in, but K-Dop sends it out wide.
Fantastic block from K-Dop there too. Extra hassling Alpha, and eventually gets the demo. He does help him get a little bit of territory, though. And Alpha, with the respawn, straight back on that ball. That man is a workhorse, and he just continues and gets back into the play as soon as he can.
Fairy Peak sends it as far as he possibly can. He wants his team to pick up some boost. They're looking a little bit starved right now as BDS are coming forward in numbers, but K-Dub does have a clean touch, goes for a flip reset, which he can't quite connect with, but a smart idea. This one's falling down. Extra sends it away. Good defending now from both teams. It's an open game of Rocket League, this. Even with 45 seconds left and the pressure this high, they are all going for it, playing on the front foot. No one's turtling in this game.
Playing for that Game 7 of Vitality, and BDS for the win to get a look in at the winners' final, securing that third place. 30 seconds remain, and a chance for BDS is how we start it. Fairy Peak in the corner, forced a mark by 8 whiff. Now Fairy Peak challenging with Monkey Moon. Both of those guys fantastic at 1v1s, but it does then fall back into a 3v3. That is lofted high. The bump from Alpha onto Extra as well. With his final 10 seconds, Vitality have the say.
Yeah, interesting touch there from Mark by 8. Not ideal. That's a better one from K-Dub. Stood up Alpha. Mark by 8 makes up for his earlier mistake. Gets it as far as Fairy Peak. This one looking like it's going for overtime. Unless something seriously crazy happens, it doesn't, Stumpy. And we're going all the way in Game 6.
Vitality wanting the Game 7. Do they get it off the kickoff?
Oh, he's got it!
Falls well, and K-Dub is the man to finish it off. It only took 6 seconds and 2 goals, but Vitality bring us to Champions Field.
That is an old school K-Dot goal. Keep an eye on the Fairy Peak pass and then make sure you're there to score the simple finish. There was 1 or 2 mistakes from BDS, but to be honest, it was Vitality's speed. It was Fairy Peak beating, I believe it was Monkey Moon to the ball. No, it was Mark by 8 that he beat to the ball, I think. And then Monkey Moon was beaten by K-Dot coming in at a better angle with more momentum. Good kickoff from Team Vitality. We said it would take a miracle for them to get to this point. They have got to this point. On Champions Field, Team Vitality have the momentum. Do they have the ability to finish?
Yeah, 100%. Going off that game, there's no doubt in my mind that either of these teams can win. BDS coming into it with the lack of momentum, Vitality with the momentum, but BDS in a Game 7. Do they lose them often? Vitality in a Game 7. Do they lose them often? This is the unstoppable object versus the immovable force, and it's going to be a huge series for either team. Whoever loses, they only have 1 life left. Whoever wins, they are winners finals.
Yep. Yep, it's so intense. I am so excited to get this one going. I'm feeling a goal fest right here because game 1, it was 4-3. And I think that after that, the games have become a little bit tighter than perhaps we would have expected. I'm going to go for something crazy, a 5-4, a 3-4. What are you thinking?
I'm going to go with a 1-0. It's a 1-0. That ball carried and placed gently in the center will only find the back of the net once. That's all I'm thinking. It'll probably be an overtime as well. You know Rocket League. That's how it always goes. It's Game 7. It's 2 of the best teams in Europe battling for minimum 3rd place and tens of thousands of dollars. Ladies and gentlemen, just watch it go down.
Who draws first blood in this one? Will Vitality keep their momentum, or will BDS get it first and perhaps just spook their opponents? Only one way to find out, and that's to stick right here as Extra puts it into the corner, and K-Dub will clear this one away. Wants to go again, but Monkey Moon closed him down so quickly. There were 1 or 2 somewhat awkward touches from BDS players towards the end of that last game, where normally if they go off the ball, you expect them to be hitting it every single time. And Vitality, they punished them. They really made BDS make their mistakes, which is, it feels like old school Vitality somewhat in that last game.
Alpha almost had an amazing solo play versus all 3 BDS defenders, and Alpha has been the man of this match for Vitality for me. He has had so much composure and has been mechanically incredible throughout this entire series. He's made sure that whenever he has chances, he's looking for the solo and the team play opportunities. Getting a block there, falls to Monkey Moon, but central again by K-Dub, and that boost being stolen away by Mark by 8, who has worked his way into the Vitality half, left his net somewhat exposed.
Not too many demos in this series, but Caleb got another one there, just to open up a little bit of space to play with. BDS, though, the two remaining players were able to deal with the Vitality attack quite comfortably, and now here we find ourselves above Vitality half. Alpha sends it long, all the way back to Mark by 8. The transition game perfect from BDS, as one would expect. Very big touch is going to be a race between K-Dub and Extra. It's won by Extra. Alpha goes long. A little bit of ping pong emerges. So maybe some nerves just starting to show beneath the steely veneer of these 6 players.
A very awkward touch, but Mark's able to get it away. Then goes in for the 50. Monkey with a long shot. But K-Dop just waiting on the goal line. As that falls off the ceiling. No one's there for the challenge. And Mark Baye rockets a shot at the net.
We've seen that a couple of times with Vitality. We saw it earlier on, I think it was game 2, where there were 2 Vitality players back, and I was thinking, one of them's gonna go, and then suddenly neither did, and the danger happened despite Vitality being there, rather than being because of the quality of BDS. Normally it'll be the latter, but Vitality just have to be careful that while they're trying to stay in control, try not to get too panicky, they also can make the mistake of sitting a little bit too much on that back foot, because BDS always will punish them. In that game 2, they only scored 1 goal, but it was enough. This is looking like it could be something similar.
With half of this game gone, not the goal fest that some of us were hoping for, and maybe just a steely 1-0 that we may end up with. You know, it's Rocket League. Overtimes happen. It's crazy. Now 2 minutes. Mark by 8, facing down K-Dop, goes for the 1v1 play. Just waiting and then eventually getting in the way of the ball. Extra, falling off that backboard, takes a low burst Fairy Peak, falls very nicely to Monkey Moon, who 50s it low. K-Dot bips it high towards the BDS net, but Mark Bayer can send it long again. Anytime this ball is going high and lofting, Vitality get there first, and Alpha again. First to the shot, but saved away. How long have Vitality had this pressure for now? And how much must BDS be missing the orange half?
But one touch from Extra sends Mark by 8 on his way. K-Dop had to be really alert. Not only did he get the touch, he also found Alpha, who has a little bit of time to play with the ball in the corner, try and get something going. Fairy Peak's touch is a little bit weak, but I think that Monkey Moon was bumped by Mark by 8. It's been a couple of times in defense where BDS is starting to get in their own way, stretched by Vitality. Haven't been able to say that too many times in recent months in Rocket League esports. Extra sends it long. Nothing really connecting for BDS right now, but that's an important touch from Monkey Moon. K-Dop had to be aware and was.
Midfield, Mark by 8 can send it high, caught out by Alpha.
Good
so
speed.
Quick and so accurate to that ball. Mark by 8 giving BDS a lifeline by removing Fairy Peak from the pitch, and yet Alpha continues with this attack. It is relentless from Vitality. BDS just hoping and praying for a little bit of respite.
If Vitality score this next goal, it blows this whole major wide open because nobody expects BDS twice in a row. But oh my goodness, was it a flip reset? Was it a dribble? Was it a team play? Stumpy, what just happened? BDS had the lead and I don't know how.
Monkey Moon just landing on Mark by 8, and this time the bump actually going well for BDS. It falls down and all of the players still on your screens just waiting. Will that be the only goal in this final game? The final 30 seconds, Alpha wants to come out hot and firing. Kado with a shot on net. Monkey Moon though hits it towards Fairy Peak. Now he has a chance.
Vitality are still fighting on. Monkey Moon sends it long. Alpha's underneath it. K-Dop is his target, and K-Dop is met, but he's missed the ball, and that means Extra can get in there with a clean touch. Then there's a miss. This could be it, but K-Dop eventually atones for his mistake. Alpha in the corner. Wants to push this one towards Fairy Peak. He's desperate to get a touch. He can't overcommit, though, even with 7 seconds left. Vitality have to make it work right here, right now. BDS going to get the next touch. K-Dop, can he force anything? I don't think he can, Stumpy. It has to happen now for Vitality.
Now or never. Vitality find themselves in crunch time as that ball hits the floor, though. It will be a continuation of the statistics. K-Dop, head in his hands. They found themselves getting to Game 7, but it just couldn't fall Vitality's way. You see how much these games mean to these players. Extra, that's a big old stretch. You honestly do not see him make that much movement in these games. And look, K-Dot, man, he was really distraught after that loss. I thought it might be a 1-0, and it was in the end. It's close. These games always are, and it hurts. Vitality fought for the Game 7. They held back after going down 3 games in a row, but they just couldn't bring it.
Yeah, it's devastating for Team Vitality, but BDS, they just always find a way to win. It perhaps wasn't the most choreographed goal of all time. It was one of the stranger ones, in fact, I think, but they will not care at all. All that they care about is the fact that yet again, BDS confirm at least a 3rd place finish in this major. Can they be beaten in this major, Stumpy?
There's only one way to find out, Cole. It's by staying tuned to twitch.tv/Rocket League and following through with the rest of the games today. After the break, we are going to be back with Oxygen versus Dignitas. We'll see you soon.